I want to welcome all of you to one of the most special places, not in the world, but in the universe. And today, it's going to become all the more special. This venue behind you, a National Historic Landmark, has seen almost 100 years of moments in time, of athletes that are timeless, coaches, performers, fans, and it's all anchored right here in the center of the universe, the city of Pasadena. The Rose Bowl opened its gates in 1922 on October 28th, and today we're going to honor one of the premier stadiums in history, in Pasadena's history, in the United States history, and at the same time honor not just an athlete, but a great American in United States history and world history, Jackie Robinson. Jackie's legacy is going to live on for generations right here in this rose garden. And what a more spectacular place we simply couldn't find. Facing the Rose Bowl, at the foot of the Rose Bowl, I don't think we could find a more perfect place to honor Jackie, to honor his family, to honor his accomplishments, and to honor his legacy. This rose garden will forever frame Jackie's image and Jackie's accomplishments for generations and generations of people who will visit the Rose Bowl. Joined, and by the way, this is the first commemorative statue and the only football statue of Jackie Robinson in existence. And that's a pretty special thing. And you'll notice, I'll give you a sneak peek, you'll notice that the statue has number 55, which is Jackie Robinson's number while he was at Pasadena City College. The statue is also joined by a bench commemorating the 1942 Rose Bowl game, and then another bench commemorating the 1983 Army-Navy football game. Let me give you some facts about Jackie Robinson. Jackie's childhood home was at 121 Pepper Street, just 1.6 miles away. That home served as Jackie's home for 24 years. Jackie played 13 games at the Rose Bowl, 4 for the John Muir High School Mustangs, and 4 for Pasadena Junior College, now Pasadena City College. Number 55 was his number at Pasadena Junior College, but 28 was Jackie's jersey number at UCLA. 42 was Jackie's jersey number with the Dodgers. And as we all know, it's retired not just for the Dodgers, but that 42 is retired for all Major League Baseball teams, as it should be. Many of you may not know this, but the longest kickoff return in Rose Bowl history was Jackie Robinson, a 104-yard return against Caltech. I'm told those scientists to this day have not seen anything move quite as fast. As president of the Rose Bowl Stadium Board of Directors and as a member of the City Council who grew up in Pasadena, went to Pasadena High School, not John Muir, but went to Pasadena City College. For me, it's a tremendous honor to be here before all of you and before the Robinson family. Let me introduce some people who are here with us, and I apologize, but I was handed a fairly long list. And please hold your applause so we can move through the list. Beginning with Pasadena Mayor Terry Tornek and distinguished members of the City Council, Senator Anthony Portantino, Assemblyman Chris Holden, Los Angeles County Supervisor Catherine Barger, former Los Angeles County Supervisor Mike Antonovich, and when we talk about legends, the priceless voice of the Dodgers for 67 years, who will also be our MC today, Vince Scully. I knew you wouldn't be able to hold that one back. Former Major League Baseball player Darrell Evans, who was born in Pasadena and went to PCC. Former Major League Baseball player Herb Noren, who's visiting from Texas, played for the Yankees, Cardinals, Cubs, Dodgers, and more, and also competed against Jackie. Pasadena Tournament of Roses President Lance Tibbett and CEO David Eads. Members of the Pasadena City College executive staff, including Superintendent Raj Verdon. Rose Bowl Operating Company board members and leadership. Please raise your hand if you're an RBOC member, because I know that the Rose Bowl Operating Company has worked very hard to make this happen. Our sculptor, our artist, Brian Hanlon. Brian has done iconic sculptures all over the United States and is the official sculptor of the Basketball Hall of Fame. And we're lucky to have his beautiful work, and you'll know what I'm talking about when you see it. Last, certainly not least, well, almost last, the Rose Bowl Legacy Foundation Board of Directors, its president, Mickey Siegel, and vice president, Ron Oakham, Angela Mazzoni, and Dan Rothenberg. And of course, this would not be possible without the tremendous generosity and foresight to give such a tremendous gift to the city of Pasadena and really to the world. And the donors, Thomas and Alba Tull, who are here with us. And I want to personally say thank you for your gift. As I've mentioned to you, what a gift. What a gift to be able to give to young people and to visitors to the Rose Bowl, to be able to stand next to the statue, read about Jackie's accomplishments. Thank you. There are also many groups that have had an influence on Jackie Robinson and assisted him in his journey to make a difference, not just for Major League Baseball, but to make a difference in this country and in society and in the world in general, to change our culture. Beginning with Major League Baseball, their executives and friends for Major League Baseball, including Vice President for Community Affairs, Thomas Brasuell. The Los Angeles Dodgers, any Dodger fans here today? Well, here with us today is the president of the Dodgers, Stan Kasten, and other members of the Dodgers front office and foundation. And I'm going to work backwards from Major League Baseball because we tracked Jackie's steps. How does someone become such an icon? Major League Baseball. But before that, it was the UCLA Bruins. Any Bruins? We're joined today by Athletic Director Dan Guerrero and Senior Associate Athletics Director Josh Rebold, and Head Baseball Coach John Savage. Next, we have the step before that, Pasadena City College. Let me hear it for PCC. we have the cheerleaders, and we have, importantly, young men and women who have the tremendous honor of walking the same halls where Jackie Robinson walked, and have the same potential to make the same impact in the world as Jackie Robinson did. Before that, we traced them back to John Muir High School. How about those Mustangs? Can we hear from the Mustangs? And before that, Washington Middle School, all here in Pasadena. And before that, just 1 mile away, and I want to hear a loud one from these guys, Cleveland Elementary School. This is where it all started. This was where Jackie became Jackie. This is where Jackie really, I would say to you, formed his view of the world, and knew that he wanted to make a difference. And let me tell you, Cleveland community, Jackie would be very proud that every single member of the Cleveland campus is here today. And we would all be remiss, Cleveland community, if we didn't remind you of the words that are written to my left, spoken by Jackie Robinson. And I want you to listen carefully. Life is not a spectator sport. If you're going to spend your whole life just watching what goes on, in my opinion, you're wasting your life. And I think we can see that common thread in Jackie's life, beginning on Pepper Street, going through to Cleveland, Washington, John Muir, Pasadena City College, UCLA, and the Bruins. He wasn't a spectator in sports, and he certainly wasn't a spectator in life. But we traced it one step further. The Robinson family. And I got to tell you, and I don't want you to save your applause here. Not that you would, but we're joined by Jackie's widow, Rachel Robinson. And also by Sharon, Jackie's daughter. But those are just two of the Robinson stars, pretty bright ones. We're also joined by over 100 members of the Robinson family. Let's hear it. So my job was to welcome you, to welcome all of you, and I think I accomplished that. But my job is also to thank all of you for having a role and a part in this tremendous day. And I'd like to next introduce someone who will introduce our MC, Vince Scully. Another local legend and contributor to not just Pasadena, but to the world of sports and to American culture, who's in attendance with his wife, Cheryl. He's a valued member of the Rose Bowl Operating Company, and I have the tremendous honor to work with him and have for over 10 years now. He's played several roles with the Dodgers, including the role of general manager from 1987 to 1998, and there was a World Series in there. We're winning World Series. And that winning World Series was the result of a team that Fred Clare built. And I'd like to welcome and ask you to give a big round of applause to our friend, our neighbor, and great contributor to Pasadena, Fred Clare.
Thank you, Victor, for those very kind words. You know, during my 30 years with the Dodgers, I had the opportunity to meet, to be involved, to become friends with many wonderful people. But in thinking of all of those years, my time in baseball before, I would have to say that there are not two men that I admire more and respect more than the man we honor today with a statue, Jackie Robinson, and the man that I will have the honor to introduce as your MC, Vin Scully. When I think about Jackie and Vin, I think not of the many accomplishments that are well documented. They're all there, every conceivable award, everyone well earned. It really, including, of course, as you know, the Presidential Medal of Honor. It goes far beyond that. It has to do with people with lives and character and setting the right example and doing the right thing at all times, even when no one is looking. And I think about Jackie, and I think about 1972. With the Dodgers at that time, I was proud to have a hand in the retirement ceremony where we retired the numbers of Jackie, of Roy Campanella, and Sandy Koufax. I can't tell you much about the ceremony itself, but I can tell you about an incident that happened before that ceremony. Jackie was standing near the third base dugout with a group of people involved with the Dodgers and also with the ceremony. And there was a fan that had come down and was in the front row of the field boxes. And he said, Jackie, sign this. Jackie turned his head, thinking he had Jackie's attention. He threw the ball. Jackie's vision was not good at that time. It was very poor. The ball bounced off Jackie's shoulder and fell to the ground. And almost everyone around Jackie began to yell, scream, asking ushers to throw the fan out of the stadium. I'll never forget standing there. I'll never forget Jackie's words. He said, calm down, hand me the ball and hand me a pen. Jackie proceeded to sign the ball, gave it to someone standing nearby, and said, return the ball to the gentleman. That was Jackie Robinson, I think very symbolic, because in his baseball career, in his life, with many things happening around him, with a lot of distractions, Jackie, at that moment, showed that he could keep his poise, keep his composure, keep his calm, and focus on what needed to be done. And that's exactly what he did on that occasion. Keeping his calm, forgiving the fan who didn't understand all the ramifications, and moving on. And Jackie, with Vinny, I think about words I've heard from Vinny about how gracious Jackie was in introducing or in having Vinny come on as a Dodger announcer in 1950. And Jackie and the Boys of Summer, as Vinny describes better than anyone, made him feel very welcome. I think that's noteworthy because in all of my years with the Dodgers, I don't know of anyone who made people feel more welcome than Vin. It didn't matter whether you were serving in the dining room. It didn't matter whether you were the press box attendant. If you were a new employee of the Dodgers, none of that mattered. Vinny was always gracious, always welcoming, and really helped to create a spirit in the organization and clearly among the fans that speaks volumes. And in thinking about Vinny, in one of my early years with the Dodgers, there was a young student who came to me and asked if he could interview Vinny. He wanted to be a baseball announcer one day. And I went to Vinny, and the answer, not surprising, was yes. So the young man, the student, came to the press box, met Vinny, had his tape recorder, and spent 30 minutes with Vin. He came back to me with a devastated look, and he said, "I forgot to press the start button." Devastated. He said, "Would you allow me to apologize to Vin and to thank him for his time?" So when we went back to Vin and he heard what has happened, he said, "Let's do it again." And that's, again, it has to do with the character of people at all times, in long careers, and at times whether you were in the spotlight or whether you were not, what you do, and certainly at a time when we need leadership and great examples more than ever before. It's an honor for me today to introduce my friend who needs no introduction and to wish him happy birthday, Vin Scully.
Hi, everybody, and a very pleasant good afternoon to you. It sounds a little funny here at the Rose Bowl, but I figured I'd just work that in anyway. I am honored and delighted and thrilled to be here today, to see Rachel and Sharon, and to remember I was 22 years old going to my first spring training with the great Brooklyn Dodgers, 22 and raw. And one of the nicest men at the very beginning of my spring training for the first time was Jackie Robinson. Jackie was a star by then, and yet I felt after the first time I met him that I could go up and talk to him at any time of night or day. He would be willing to listen and to explain whatever I had on my mind. You don't forget that. Another thing about Jack, I believe in retrospect, he was the most courageous athlete I've ever met. I say that after my first spring training. Believe it or not, the Dodgers in the spring of 1950 went from spring training at Vero Beach in Florida to Brooklyn by way of Texas. They stopped in every small town along the way in the South. And one of the things that I really marveled at, there was tremendous adulation from a lot of the fans, the black fans in those cities. And before the game, Jackie would go out and he would talk to all of them who were in the outfield, telling them to celebrate, but not to over-celebrate. Even then, he knew how important balance is in life. And of course, courage is probably the base of all human behavior. And the other thing that Jack had about courage, if you look up statistically, you'll find everything imaginable. But there is one stat that I marveled at then and I marvel at now. So if you want to know the spirit of Jackie Robinson on a ball field, look up the fact that he stole home 19 times. Now think about that. I remember asking Maury Wills, "Why don't you steal home? You've stolen 100 bases." And he said, "No, I have an overwhelming fear of failure." Jack never had a fear of failure. And if he did, The only person he talked to it about would be Rachel. I told this story before, and then I'll be brief. I've told this story, heck, I've told all stories before. But if you don't mind, I'll tell you this one more time. We were in Cincinnati, and things were very sensitive with Jack, getting a lot of threatening letters. And the one in Cincinnati was really taken to heart. It was deadly serious. And so the day of the game, there were not only policemen throughout the small ballpark, there were sharpshooters on the roof of the ballpark. There were sharpshooters and policemen on the post office down the right field line and in left field above the laundry. There was tension, believe me. This one was the worst that I had ever experienced. And the Dodgers took their batting practice and then went into the clubhouse, that small clubhouse. And there was great tension and silence. And the Dodgers had a left fielder named Gene Hermansky. And Hermansky broke the silence by saying, "I've got it." And everybody looked up and he said, "You've got what?" And Gene, big blonde from Brooklyn, said, "We'll all wear number 42 and no one will know which one of us is Jackie Robinson." I thought, like everybody else, that was hilarious. However, once every year, in memory of Jack, as you know, you can finish the sentence, everyone wears number 42. He will indeed, and I was talking to Rachel about that, he will live forever. And one last thought. He was so incredible in holding on to himself. I've never seen anyone who could get angry and improve on whatever he is doing. Most of us, we get angry and we slip in our ability. Jack got better. In fact, everyone in the league knew that Jack got better. And I remember Leo DeRocher telling the New York Giant players in those days, "Don't wake him up." Not meaning to wake him up out of sleep, but don't get him angry because he is better than ever before. Among other things, Jack was born in Cairo, Georgia, and when he lived in Pasadena, he was here for about 24 years. So it was a great transition, and I know after listening to his educational background, he touched everyone from grammar school right up through Pasadena City College, and then, of course, on to the UCLA. We'll have more about that in a minute. But making a transition, well, we have someone else who made a transition. He was born in New York City. He came out here in 1982 and became mayor in April of 2015. His honor, the mayor of Pasadena, Terry Tornek.
Thank you, Vin. Don't get to say that very often. Not a tough act to follow. My job is to welcome you all to Pasadena and to the Rose Bowl. Pasadena, as most of you know, identifies with Jackie Robinson in a lot of different ways. The Robinson Baseball Stadium is right over there. We have Jackie Robinson Community Center. We have Robinson Park. When I emerge from City Hall, I'm confronted with the two sculptured heads of Jackie and Mack Robinson staring at City Hall, and I hope they're pleased with what we're doing. Not always sure. And finally, 2.5 years ago, when I ran for mayor, the name of my opponent was Jackie Robinson. True story. Not related. But it's easy to understand why we relish our association with Jackie Robinson, because he represents the progress we have made as a nation with regard toward equal opportunity for all of our citizens. The truth be told is that Pasadena's record at the time that Jackie Robinson lived here could have used some improvement. The good news is that we've come a long way since then, and I take our dedication of another Jackie Robinson monument in our city as a reaffirmation of the fact that we intend to do even a better job toward developing true equal opportunity for all of our residents. On a personal note, as you've heard, unlike Victor Gordo, my wife and I did not grow up in Pasadena. We grew up in Brooklyn. And our fathers, Benedetto and Allen, took us to Dodger games. And I had the happy experience of watching Jackie Robinson steal home. So this, on a personal level, for me to be able to share this shared experience of Pasadena and Brooklyn is really an amazing experience. And I want to express my thanks to the Tulls for their generosity and for everyone else that's been associated with this tremendous event today. And thank you on behalf of the City Council and the City of Pasadena. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I'm going to talk about the better half for a moment. Not Jackie, but Rachel. Jackie met Rachel on the UCLA campus September 1, 1940. They were married in February 1946. While Jackie was fighting his way to the big leagues, Rachel had her Bachelor of Science in Nursing at UCLA. She also had her master's degree in psychiatric nursing at New York University. She became assistant professor at Yale School of Nursing and eventually became the director of Nursing State Mental Hospital in Connecticut. And all that nursing did very well because she had 3 children, and it came in handy, I'm sure. Jackie Jr., David, and the lady who's here now and will address you in a moment. She serves as educational consultant for Major League Baseball. She manages the Barriers in Sports and Life, a baseball-themed national character education curriculum that helps empower students to face obstacles in their lives. And Lord knows there are so many obstacles, especially in the youth of today. So it gives me great pleasure to introduce a dear pal, someone I'm happy to see all the time, the product of Jackie and Rachel, Sharon Robinson.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Add my happy birthday to your list of admirers. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Vin forgot to tell you I was a children's book author. I was thinking about these children. We have to get them some books. Right, Tom? On behalf of the Robinson family, in this majestic stadium, surrounded by the San Gabriel Mountains, extended family, and friends, we're thrilled to share this incredible moment with you. I'd like to begin by thanking the visionaries who made this day possible. The City of Pasadena, Deedon Branzino, the Rose Bowl Foundation, the Rose Bowl Legacy Foundation, and our sculptor Brian Hanlon, and our dear friends Alba and Thomas Tull, who, by the way, brought the film 42 to millions of Americans and did what books alone couldn't do, helped kids and adults understand the importance of breaking down segregation in Major League Baseball. Now they've gifted the City of Pasadena, the Rose Bowl, and the millions who will visit this commemorative statue. When Mom and I met Brian at breakfast this morning, he said that by choosing to depict Jackie Robinson as a PCC football player, they went back to the beginning. Fitting considering that Pasadena has been home to generations of Robinsons. For this, we give thanks and praise to Mally Robinson. She had the courage and fortitude to move her family of 4 boys and 1 girl from Cairo, Georgia, where she sharecropped, to Pasadena, California, around the same time as the stadium was built. Mally refused to be held down by fear. She plowed forward with strength, dignity, and enduring faith. My mother, Rachel Robinson, has these same qualities. She and my dad were true partners in life, in work, and family. Together they endured and thrived. We lost our husband, father, brother, uncle, son, American icon much too early. But Mom carried on, forging an incredible career in nursing and business and creating a lasting legacy in the Jackie Robinson Foundation. We call it JRF. So JRF is now in its 43rd year, and it has given more than $75 million in scholarship and leadership support. We currently have 242 scholars, 26 of whom are at UCLA, and 8 of those are Dodger scholars. Thank you, Dodgers. We've graduated more than 1,500 students, and on that same note, one of our alums, I can't find her, she didn't come. Nicole? There's Nicole. She's one of our wonderful, amazing alum, and she heads the Dodger Foundation. So we keep it all in the family. And we're most proud of the fact that our graduates make it through college and universities within 4 to 5 years at 100%, nearly 100% graduation rate. So now at the tender age of 95, Mom continues to defy the odds and live independently. She also tries her best to keep 2 adult children, 12 grandchildren, 5 great-grandchildren marching forward. She is my inspiration and my best friend. Cards. So, thank you all for bringing us all together at a time when we need hope and we need inspiration. Now, Jackie Robinson and the Pasadena Rose Bowl are now joined in history and in life. Thank you.
Thank you, Sharon, very much. One of the things I liked to do when I was broadcasting was do research on the various players. And probably most of you have read somewhere that Jackie in baseball in the major leagues had a lifetime batting average of .311. He stole 197 bases, and I mentioned earlier that he had stolen home 19 times. But I tried to do a little more research, and I found out, among other things, that Jackie Robinson laddered in 4 sports: baseball, football, basketball, and track. The only one at UCLA to do that. How in the world he found time to court Rachel and marry her, I will never know. Unbelievable. In the long jump, 1940, NCAA champion of the long jump, you guessed it, Jackie Robinson. The jump, 24 feet, 10 1/4 inches. In basketball, wearing number 18, he averaged 16 points a game. In football, he led the nation 2 years in punt returns. You have to be a very brave man to stand all alone on a big field, waiting for a football to come down out of the sky, knowing that 11 rich-hearted men are charging to try to kill you and make you cough up the football. And yet, Jackie led the nation for 2 years in punt returns. In 1940, he led UCLA in rushing, passing, and total offense. His backfield featured Kenny Washington, Willie Strode, Ray Bartlett, and as the quarterback, Jackie Robinson. His longest touchdown pass was 41 yards. And now I have a shocking note to pass on to you. in baseball. Jackie Robinson played 1 year at UCLA. This great player, who is in the Hall of Fame, who is looked upon as one of the great baseball players of all time. His 1 year playing at UCLA, he batted .097. No wonder he went on to other sports and eventually and dramatically improved to go from .097 to a lifetime .311 batting average in the big leagues. Oh, one other thing. He did give a tip-off of some of his ability. In the one game where he got on base, I guess, he stole home. We give you that numbers for our next speaker, who is very much involved in baseball. Vice President of Community Affairs for Major League Baseball, has been with the Major League Baseball offices since 1994 and has worked deeply with the MLB RBI program to revive baseball in inner cities. He's also instrumental in MLB's decision to adopt the Boys and Girls Club of America as the official charity of Major League Baseball. Ladies and gentlemen, the Vice President of Community Affairs for Major League Baseball, Thomas Brasuell.
Thank you, Vin, and a happy birthday again. It's great to be here. It seems like we have a New York theme here with Vin being born in the Bronx, the mayor being born in Brooklyn. I'm born in New York City, Manhattan. But again, I bring greetings from Major League Baseball and Commissioner Rob Manfred. I would first and foremost like to thank Thomas Tull and the Tull Family Foundation for their love of the game and their commitment to sharing the legacy of the great Jackie Robinson for generations to come. Thank you, Thomas. It is always great to be in the presence of the first family of baseball, the Robinson family. Rachel Robinson, the first lady of baseball, and Sharon, of course, the first daughter, who I have the pleasure of working with on a regular basis, pretty much day to day. Both have long time been champions of youth and of education, as you heard Sharon speak about the Jackie Robinson Foundation. Major League Baseball has been a longtime supporter of the Jackie Robinson Foundation, which Rachel founded nearly 45 years ago. Not only do they help children get into college, but they make sure through support services that they complete college, and they, for that reason, are one of the most successful scholarship programs in the nation. Commissioners past and present have said the game's most important moment was Jackie going on to Ebbets Field 70 years ago. We celebrate that moment every year, along with the effect that moment has had on society and on generations of our game. Jackie was not just a baseball icon, he was a gift to America whose journey started right here in Pasadena. Major League Baseball is so proud to be a part of today's events. We want to again thank the Thomas Tull Foundation, Thomas Tull and the Tull Family Foundation. We also want to thank the Rose Bowl and the Rose Bowl Legacy Foundation for their leadership. And again, we couldn't be more proud to be in this historic occasion. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. There's one line in the script today which gave me thought. If you look at your notes, you will see that this statue was sculpted by Brian Hanlon, who is the official sculptor of the National Basketball Hall of Fame. So Jackie has a statue at Dodger Stadium. He has a statue here at the Great Rose Bowl, and the sculptor is a basketball sculptor. And Jackie played basketball. So the word will be out. Where is the next venue that will treat us with a statue of Jackie Robinson? In talking about that statue, the man who was behind it, I'm honored to see again. He serves as foundation chairman of the board of Legendary Entertainment and produced the wonderful movie, the love affair movie of Jackie and Rachel called 42. He's a partner of the Pittsburgh Steelers and serves on its board of directors. He's on the board of the National Baseball Hall of Fame and Museum. His wife, Alba, serves on the board of the Jackie Robinson Foundation. It was his idea, his heart and his imagination that brought this day to us. And we would like to honor Thomas Tull indeed. Sir, we would like to have you come up for your remarks.
Thank you. When Rachel and Sharon gave us the privilege of making the movie 42 and inviting us into their lives, I knew that we were going to have a great experience. What I didn't count on was gaining another family, and just wanted to express that Alba and I love you both very, very much, and it's a privilege to be here today. And on your birthday, I don't mean to argue the point, but actually, my wife Alba, who's on the board of the Robinson Foundation, was the first one to hear about this, and I didn't have anything other than she said yes, and there's the statue. So that's essentially what happened.
You're a very smart man to listen to your wife.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So listen, I want to see the statue as bad as you do, so I'll be very brief and just say that in this day and age where I can't look at the news or anything else and see in this country, in our great country, what's going on right now, the strife that we're seeing, all of our differences and people trying to create all these different problems that we have. If there's ever a person's life that's emblematic of what's right about this country, it's Jackie Robinson. And I hope that for generations to come, people visit this garden and just pause for a moment and are inspired by Jackie Robinson's life, and hopefully it'll inspire us to all be better. So it's a privilege to be here today. Thank you very much.
We're planning. We would now love to have Rachel and Sharon and Thomas and Alba, if you would come up, please, for the great moment that we've been waiting for all through my dull monologue. And would everyone stay seated for this rather dramatic moment? I think when the statue is exposed, there should not be any more words. So my last words are, God bless Jackie Robinson, but in retrospect, he has. And God has blessed us for knowing and seeing and watching him live. Thank you.
First of all, we're here to honor Jackie Robinson today because he was an icon, not only because of his athletic accomplishments, but because he represented the spirit and the heart of what it is to be a person of caring, an American who reached out with his nonviolent approach to life, reminiscent of Dr. Martin Luther King. He also was someone who was able to bring people together, white ball players who appreciated his courage and his dedication to the sport, but also beyond just the fact that he was a great athlete, he was able to bring communities together. And so for here in Pasadena, it's a tremendous opportunity for us to say thank you to his family, to his widow, Rachel, and to the family and his daughter. But we also know that when Jackie was alive, Pasadena did not treat he.
We were the only Negro family in the neighborhood. The only playmates I had were my brothers and sister.
Or his brother Mack, for that matter, the way that they should have been treated as the kind of heroes, the kind of humanitarians that their life has proven them to be. And so for us, this is an opportunity to hopefully heal somewhat the past, He grew up here. He was heralded here at the John Muir and Pasadena City College and then UCLA, but he did not get the kind of hero's treatment and respect that he should have when he was alive from the people of Pasadena. So it is a great day to be able to right a wrong, to be able to say to not only his family but the world that his hometown believes in him, celebrates him, and is proud of him as the rest of the world is.
Jackie Robinson is a legend at John Muir High School, but the erection of the statue is just a constant reminder to our students of the impact that he had, not only globally, but locally in Northwest Pasadena at John Muir High School. We are very proud, and hopefully our students will realize that they can achieve just like Jackie Robinson did.
Today was an amazing day to put up a statue of someone who is not just a great icon for sports, but just for America as a whole. It wasn't a statue, it was a monument is what we put up today. And just blessed to know that I actually went to the same schools as Jackie Robinson, which is interesting. I went to Cleveland, Washington, and John Muir, and all those schools were represented here today.
The Inspire campaign for the Rose Bowl is a way to keep the Rose Bowl relevant and thriving. We went through a renovation project, but we did what one would consider to be the nuts and bolts of the stadium, but it also included a new luxury box. Now it's time to ensure that the rest of the stadium is renovated, is prepared to contribute to future generations of Pasadenans and future generations of sports fans, music fans, and to the country and the world in general.
The family's excited about the event. It was well put together, it was well deserved, well timed, and as the Robinson family here, we've been excited and for this day to come. Knowing it was in the process being put together, we've been just overwhelmed with the response that we've been getting back from the different city officials, the different schools. So we thank the schools of Pasadena, we thank the organizations that have come together to put this statue in tribute of our uncle, and it's just a reflection of being a Pasadenian.
Well, the sculpture composition was created by researching different photographs of Jackie as a UCLA player, but also there are photographs of him as a Pasadena Community College player. And along with looking at other images I found that I liked poses of, one in particular was of actually Jim Brown at Syracuse. So I took some anatomy and some poses from other players I found, and then I put it into Jackie's anatomy and came up with this pose. Well, this is an honor to have a piece of art in front of this iconic American building. And this is much more than a place where people play football. This is, you know, an American iconic piece of architecture and location. And now I think it is a destination with this Rose Garden for people to learn something very special about Jackie Robinson, a native of Pasadena.